Welcome back to What Are Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the T92 HMC, the Tier 10 American SPG. It's located on the east spawn of Sand River, and this one is under the command of me! Yes, it's one of my replays again. Yep, General Disturbance in the T92 HMC. Now I've got the biggest gun in the game, 24cm howitzer, and yes, you've probably noticed I'm knocking trees down. I'm actually laying a lair for the enemy to fire at. They'll think I'm actually firing from that position, but I'm actually going to fire from not a short distance away, yep, over here. Now if they look at the bushes and see that the trees have been knocked down, they'll probably fire at that spot and miss out that I'm actually a short distance away. Okay, set myself up, ready to go. First target's coming into sight, and we've got a UDAS 1516. I'm loaded with HE round with the stun, and the first shot impacts on the UDAS 1516 for 510 hit points, and he's got a long stun on him as well. So I'm anticipating and hoping that we're going to get some stun assist, and we have 766 worth of stun assist. So good start to the game. Now you may have noticed I'm watching the dunes now. There's a lot of enemy tanks who've gone south of the map, including a Kampfpanzer 07 or 7 PE, one of the new tanks, one of the tier 10 reward tanks. Rounds out on him. Direct impact, 327 hit points. It didn't penetrate him, but it certainly hit his armor. Okay, we can see a T49 that's returning, a Progetto 65. They've got thin armor, so they're worthwhile hitting because you might get a penetration. And the Kampfpanzer 7 is now losing his stun. So if I hit this Progetto, there's a good chance I might stun the Kampfpanzer at the same time. Now he's veered away, and I've lost sight of them, so my teammates need to reacquire. We do have an EBR 90. Rounds out the Progetto. And yes, I do stun both, and I did impact the Progetto 65, so I've got another 412. Now, there's only a limited amount of ammo in the T92. You only get 16 rounds to play with. And you can see down below that I've actually got, or originally started, with 2 rounds of armor piercing, 2 rounds of the non-stun HE, and then 11 rounds of the stun HE. Okay, I was anticipating that I might get a few pens in the game. Okay, Rheinmetall Panzerwagen rather. Now we didn't see him, and the shell appeared to impact nearby, but did actually get a hit. Okay, I see the Progetto again. One of the things I'm obviously trying to do is trying to spread the Arty love out over as many enemy tanks as I can, because I do believe in the maxim that if you hit as many enemy tanks as you can, at least you're going to get a Confederate out of it, and that might enable you to get a medal and courageous resistance if your team loses. Okay, that TVP is reversing. Rounds out. At the very least, that must have been near and possibly stunned a few of the enemy tanks that are around there. It did fall away from the aim point. Okay, there's the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen again. He's lost half his hit points already. Now, if you've noticed the disposition of our teammates, they're actually fairly well and evenly spread. We've got a couple of tanks that have gone down the north route, including an Object 257 and a Manticore. And then we've also got a bunch of tanks near the centre and some in the dunes. Okay, I'm loaded. And the Kampfpanzer 07 comes into sight. Since he's the only tank who's in sight, I fire around at him. 248 off some splash. Okay, he is taking damage, so I'm getting stun assist here as well. Notice I'm down to 6 rounds of stun HE now. It's running low. Okay, Object 705 is holding up our Object 430 in the riverbed, and I can definitely put a round into the side, plus of course it would give me the benefit of hitting another enemy vehicle. Rounds out on him straight away. Direct hit for 414 on his rear. He's stunned. Now, will our guys help me with some stun assist and get a kill? No stun assist yet. The 430's trying to get a shot on him. The Leopard's getting ready as well, but... Oh, they did get a kill. The 430 got him in the end. But sadly, I didn't get any stun assist off that one at all. Now, we've had some bad news for the Manticore. He's found two enemy tanks here. A Batchat 25T AP, which is tier 9, and an EBR 90, which is also tier 9. I fire one round in, hoping to disrupt them. And I do get a splash on the Batchat 25T AP, but sadly the Manticore dies. And those guys wander off again, which is bad news. The EBR-90, by the way, he's actually in platoon with the enemy Object 283, not with that Batchat 25T AP, who's not in platoon with anyone. But I'm anticipating that he's actually sitting on that corner at the moment, trying to get shots on the Object 257. The enemy do have some tank destroyers near their cap area. Okay, since there's no tanks to fire at, I am going to try and aim, and I just saw enemy tanks in the corner of my eye. There's a Heshbon up on the hill. But I'm trying to wipe out that UDES if I can. Take a gun out the game. Okay, keeps maneuvering and turning around. Oh, enemy Arty's in that area. And my shell splashes the Kampfpanzer 7 yet again. Now, I don't know if you spotted, but yep, there is that Batchat 25T AP. He did go to the position I thought he would. He's trying to stop the Object 257 from getting any closer. Now, if he stays there, I will land a round right on top of him, because he will probably expire, because he's got very thin armor. But then I see this Doom Turtle, and he's trying to get down onto my teammates. He is taking fire. The Charfu 204, I think, put a round into him, so I'm going to land a round on him myself. And I take him down to 49, and he gets taken out of the game by RE 100. Now, the Kunstpanzer is up on top of the hill. Now, he's actually pulled back just for a moment. And look what I see. It's a Heshbon, and they have very thin armor. So you can normally get penetrating shots on them. Now, the penetrating, or the alpha, is 1100 on this 24cm howitzer. 60mm pen and 12.4 meters burst radius. Rounds out straight away from one end of the map to the other. And it did definitely hit the Heshbon, because the shell disappeared without an explosion. But sadly, I've also noticed that they're trying to harass this 257. Again, it's that EBR and the Batchat 25T AP. The EBR did the right thing and tried to bug out as quickly as he can, but the Batchat has made a bit of a mistake, because now he's going to meet the Charfu 204, and in fact, he gets wiped out by our G-Saw. It is a tier 10 game with, I think it was actually yes, it's tier 9 tanks in it. Okay, rounds out on the 283. I managed to splash him. He's stunned. I'm hoping that that stun is going to be enough for our teammates to take advantage, and they do, and I'm getting stun assist. The Charfu 204 might be in reload, but it's the 257 that gets the kill shot, and he's out the game. So we're 2 tanks ahead at the moment. Now, you may have noticed I'm actually changing position, and with good reason. If you look at the minimap, you can see that the enemy appears to be approaching us on the south end of the map. They're getting closer and closer. But I'm actually going to use this area where I've knocked the trees down. The enemy Arty really isn't interested in counter battery. In fact, we know where he is, because he's actually just to the south of the hill on the west side of the map. But he's not hitting our guy, hitting me, or trying to hit me. He's actually trying to hit our tanks, which means that I'm free to actually pursue hitting the enemy tanks. But since our guys are now pulling back on the south end of the map, I'm going to have to relocate to the north and try and get away from them. Okay, that Rheinmetall Panzer wagon again. There's that UDES. I would dearly like to take him out. Rounds out. I fired with a blown reticule. And the shell went in. And I'm changing position while I'm looking. I'm wondering if I actually did hit somebody else as well at the same time. So you can see I'm using the mini-map. I know the dunes are free and clear, so I'm not going to hit anything. And we can see the UDES now in the frame, even while I'm on the move. Trying to get as far away. Okay. We spotted a target that I can hit again. A Kampfpanzer 7. It's the same one I've been hitting before, but he's down to 601 hit points now. And if I can get a penetrating shots on him, I could take him out of the game. I'm now firing the extra HE, the ones that actually do a lot more damage. And I got a direct hit on him that time. 1420 alpha and 75 millimeters of pen. But there's no stun, and the burst radius is only 7 meters. But I'm now down to the HE rounds. They've got 750 alpha, but 372 millimeters of pen. So no stun whatsoever with those. And I've only got 2. So I'm running out of ammo. I'm also moving north, trying to get away from the enemy just in case they do approach the cap from the south. Okay, this village will actually give me a bit of cover. Okay, now they were indicating there might be an enemy, the Panzer wagon, just in that area there. And instead we see the UDES. Now remember, I'm firing AP and I forgot that I was firing AP at the time. And I fired it thinking I'd be able to stun him. And no, unfortunately I just dug a hole in the ground. I suddenly realized, oops, that is HE, that is AP. I do have a healthy amount of damage, 3018, plus of course I notify my teammates I've only got 1 shell left, and I'm heading up by the northern route, hoping that if I can catch up and get behind that Charfuture 4, I might be able to get a decent shot at the enemy. Now he's on the north of the village. I'm hoping that he'll still be able to help me. I stopped to take a shot. And suddenly I see the projector and we can see the wreck of the Heshbon. He was in there. Okay, now I think that Kampfpanzer was coming up the... Oh... Now I fired anticipating the Kampfpanzer would go up that rise and I catch him just as he went up over the rise. So I've now got no ammunition at all, and I've signaled that in chat so they now know I'm empty of ammo. And then I suddenly see that the EPR and the other tank, I think it's the Kampfpanzer, are attacking, no, it's the Kunstpanzer rather, are attacking the Charfuture 4. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I can't go any further south. I actually have to go up into the northeast corner of the map because our teammates are dropping like flies. And if I don't get up there quick, I'm probably going to get spotted and then I'll get killed. In fact, it now looks like we're going to lose this game because there's only 4 left on our team, including me. And yet there's still 7 on the enemy team. So I've got to try and get away. That's why I went low there to start to get away. And I've got to get high now. So I'm going to be going up. And that Panzer wagon's headed this way. And yep, he did see me. I'm sure of it. In fact, he's bound to see me now because he's actually within spotting range. And... ouch! Yeah, he slammed around into my side. 293. We're into the last minute, and the enemy Arty's trying to get me as well. Okay, they are now trying to counter-battery me, but I am one of only 3 left on my team, and I'm trying to hide here, because if I go up a little higher into the corner, they will spot me for sure, and they will finish me off. I think the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen is waiting for me to try and get to the pass. We've just lost another teammate. It was the Charfuture 4, and now I've only got the Waffenträger, and he's down near the cap area. So I'm hovering on this corner, and now the Waffenträger's gone. I'm the last one alive, facing 6 enemy tanks. And I'm expecting that Panzerwagen to get close. I can see the Kampfpanzer 7. He's headed this way, but they're running out of time. And I reckon I can force a draw. And I have! And the enemy landed a shell behind me, but we've got the draw. Well, sometimes it is important to get the draw rather than to lose the game for your teammates. If you can force a draw on the enemy, then at least you've achieved something. I got a second-class tanker out of that game. Well, no ace, but at least I managed to get a Bruce medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, I got 14. I got a Gauze medal because I did more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of my own vehicle. A high caliber for getting the most damage in the game. And on top of that, I got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on my team. My win rate was 3,793, which is super income standard. So let's have a look at team score. Well, definitely got the highest damage in the game. 5,182 hit points of damage. And the next highest scorer after me was, in fact, the Heshbarn. 4,209 hit points to him. And in third place was the Object 261 on the enemy team. Their Arty managed to do 3,905 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, it was actually the enemy team did the best. They got Progetto 65 and the Udas 1516 both managed to get 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the Object 430 on our team, and that Kampfpanzer 7 on the enemy team, who also picked up a steel wall during that game. Yes, he certainly got hit by me a few times and managed to survive. And that Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, the guy who actually spotted me and shot me, actually got a patrol duty in that game, and I think he spotted me. He was the first one on the enemy team to spot me, so he got that as well. So, when it came to base XP, because it was a draw, it was the EPR 90 on the enemy team who managed to get the highest with 541. The Panzerwagen managed to get 538, and then the Progetto 65, 494. But I was the next one. In 4th place, it was me with 488, because none of us won the game. Basically, a draw is both teams lose. But at least I forced the loss on them by hiding at the end to make sure they couldn't get me. Anyway, let's have a look at detail. I fired all 16 rounds, and I am now armed with no more armor-piercing rounds. I'm actually adjusted it slightly. It would have been better for me if I'd actually had more stun HE in that game. 6 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetrating shot, and 15 splash out of it. If we see, we can at the front. We can see who I actually penetrated in that game. Yes, it was the Heshbarn. 1,072, which is a low roll penetration. Didn't kill him, but it certainly gave him a headache because it went straight through the top of his turret. So, yes, that would have been nice if I had killed him in the game, but I didn't on this occasion. 15 splash, damage of 5,182, all of it at more than 300 meters. I did receive a hit from the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. It did penetrate, of course. And I did receive 1 hit by way of splash damage, but I didn't suffer any damage from it. The Object 261 on the enemy team managed to fire a round close to me, but not close enough to do any damage. 10 enemy vehicles were damaged and none were killed, which meant obviously it was a very good Confederate in that sense, because that's 2/3 of the enemy team that I managed to touch in the game. And 1,950 hit points of stun assist of 15 stuns. It would have been nicer if I'd actually got a bit more stun, because that might have given me an ace tanker out of the game as well. But at least I'll settle for the 3 medals that I did get. Now, I got a profit out of the game. Even though it was a draw, I got 71,157 credits profit, and I got 5 bonds. And on top of that, 1,802 XP. So at least it wasn't a total loss, but I forced the draw on the enemy because I hid towards the end to make sure that they couldn't get the kill on me. I was quite prepared that if that Rheinmetall Panzerwagen suddenly appeared, I would definitely ram him. I would have driven down that slope as fast as I possibly could to take him out, and possibly it would have been the end of me, but at least I would have got a kill right at the end of the game. And that's what it's all about. You don't surrender. You never give up. You keep fighting until the end. And if you can, force a draw on the enemy to make sure that they can't get it. But never drown. Never suicide. Keep fighting until the bitter end. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.